Which is the best meditation posture? The best posture is the one that you don't have to think about. In meditation, we're trying to become naturally present or effortlessly aware. And the main obstacle to this is the habitual momentum of the conceptualizing mind. That's what we want to let go of. If we're uncomfortable, we're going to spend more time lost in thought, thinking about our seat or our posture, than resting and letting be. Ultimately, we want to access a kind of meditation that is compatible with our daily lives all the time. So any posture and position can work. But until we can clearly distinguish what it means to be present versus what it means to be lost in thought, some postures are going to be more accessible and appropriate for our development. Sitting cross-legged is probably the most common option. It's a great skill to develop because if you can sit cross-legged, you can pretty much meditate anywhere, anytime. It is a skill to develop though, because for a lot of people, sitting in meditation for a long duration is going to be quite tough on their body. Whilst you're sitting down, you can feel underneath you, and you should be able to locate these pronounced and hard bones. They're called your sitting bones. If you lift up, the further back you send them, and the more square you stack them with the floor, the easier it should be to maintain an upright position. It's actually easiest to sit upright when these sitting bones are slightly above your knee line. So you can place something underneath you if you need to raise them up, and this will also help you maintain a loosely straight spine. Your head should also be upright and can just rest nice and freely. And your arms can also rest in many different positions. Resting on your knees, you can have your palms face up, you can have your palms face down. You can also bring them in just into your belly, underneath your navel, and that can create a sort of base or support to give you some extra stabilization for your head sitting in there, nice bit of balance there. And some people also prefer to have even a wider gap in between their arms and their body. They can find that gives them a bit more space and they don't feel so cramped up. So you could put your hands on your hip or rest them widely, again on your legs, probably palms face down. Could do palms face up too though. Experiment with those different options and go with whatever helps you remain loosely straight, still and calm, without having to think about your posture. Whichever you can maintain for the longest duration without becoming distracted by it. That's a good meditation posture. I normally just rest my palms on my knees, nice and loosely straight spine, free head, shoulders relaxed. Or sometimes I'll go for the extra sport and bring my hands in just underneath my navel and by my belly. I find that quite relaxing too, gives me a bit more balance. You can also implement additional supports too, like sitting on something to raise your sitting bones or using something to reinforce your lower back. And you can use these to develop your ability to sit on the floor, eventually removing them from your practice once you have improved. The best part about this posture is that it's very reliable. You're not going to be dull or distracted if you're feeling comfortable, and it's difficult to find excuses not to meditate if all you need is a floor. There should always be a ground underneath you, so you should always be able to meditate. Of course, as I've hinted, sometimes floor sitting and crossing your legs can be quite hard for people, so the next popular option is going to be a comfortable chair. It can really be any chair. It can be a hard one or it can be a soft one. Obviously, if it's too cozy, you might sink in and then become dull in the mind. We don't really want that. And if it's too hard, maybe we'll be too uncomfortable. So we really want a comfortable chair that again can give us that sense of straightness, which is going to keep us awake in the presence of awareness, effortlessly and naturally. All these qualities should be supported by whatever position we're sitting in, wherever we're sitting, or whatever we're sitting on. To support the upright sitting, usually a chair with a firm base will be best. That way we can find our sitting bones underneath us, make sure they connect solidly with the chair, so that we have a powerful foundation for the length of our practice. Ideally, our sitting bones should be above our knee line. We live in this modern world, and if you talk to some posture and movement experts, They'll say that chairs are one of the worst inventions ever because a lot of them are designed with a relaxing decline, encouraging our tailbones to scoop under, retracting us down, and then we walk through life as little hobgoblins. Ideally, our hard sitting bones should be making contact with a hard base, and that should make it easier to have a straight spine. Nice and strongly supported. So you can try and find something that will encourage this sort of position. The upright spine, straight, head loose, relaxed jaw, relaxed shoulders, hands resting naturally on the knees, or palms up, or just in by the belly. But if that's still a struggle for you, the alternative is just a softer chair. And hopefully you just won't become dull in your practice. You'll be able to maintain that presence of awareness and not start falling asleep. The other common option we hear about considering meditation postures is lying down meditation. People really wonder whether you're allowed to do this. You can. Ideally, you should bridge your meditation practice into falling asleep. So it's very compatible with that transition. If you doze off, just keep meditating. But lying down is good. You can just lie down. You probably want your body quite open. That will encourage the presence of awareness rather than just falling asleep completely. Perhaps palms up in this position, so you're staying nice and open, remaining awake. You can still close your eyes. You don't have to do eyes open. Or you can actually just lay however you like. You can meditate anyway. The obvious obstacle will be becoming too dull, but at the same time, this can be such a comfortable position, it can really promote some people not getting distracted at all. They can feel very present. Some people don't have a problem with falling asleep, and some people find that the relaxation of this posture helps slow down the momentum of the mind. So it's another great way to meditate. To be honest, these are all great options. You should experiment with them all. Ultimately, in meditation, we want to find a kind of meditation which is compatible with being us all the time. So that's going to include moments of lying down, moments of sitting in a chair, and moments sitting cross-legged. If you're wondering which posture you should choose, you probably want to employ the one that will encourage you to do the most meditation. My personal routine, it shifts all the time, but I feel very confident I'm going to keep on meditating. So it's very easy for me to say that. My best wishes on your journey towards a more enlightened life. May we all come to know such wonderful ways of being and discover great comfort and ease in our progression of meditation. Thank you, my friend. Have a lovely day, and I hope your week is already going very nicely.
If Sonam has helped you, please consider supporting for the benefit of others. Establishing a base engagement is the biggest hurdle for new ideas.